What is good and welcome to Chatwin Reacts. I'm Jack, your British goat, and today we're reacting to the entire history of the NBA. I'm looking forward to this one because Rebound, they do some incredible good videos. I did a reaction to their video on the entire history of the NFL, but unfortunately my camera wasn't on. And I can't redo the video like that because it just makes it all unauthentic. But I'm looking forward to this one. Of course, as always, 3 things we got to do. Number 1, you go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put a goat in the goat chain. Let's go.
Basketball looked like a century ago. And here's what it looks like now.
What?
So, how did we get here? Well, it all started when a teacher named James Naismith wanted to make a fun game for his students. And boom, just like that, we got basketball. But at first, the game was complete garbage. I mean, they played with soccer balls and used wooden baskets as hoops. Yeah, it was literally basketball. And
So
they couldn't even
like
trip
netball.
one. The game quickly evolved. And by 1906, metal rims were introduced. They finally allowed dribbling, thank God. And the very first professional basketball league was formed, the NBL. But 12 years later, another league was created called the BAA, creating teams like the Celtics, the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Warriors. And by 1949, basketball was getting so popular that the BAA and the NBL were like, let's do it. So they merged, creating the NBA. But despite being the #1 basketball league in the world, most players in the NBA still had day jobs, like Norman Glick, who worked as a plumber. I'm not kidding. But in 1956, one of the greatest players of all time made his NBA debut, Celtics legend Bill Russell. I mean, he was so good that he won a championship in his first season, and 10 more throughout his career. Yeah, 11 championships. The Celtics dominated the league for 13 years straight, but in 1959, Bill's biggest rival joined the league, Wilt Chamberlain, a man who could bench 500 pounds, sleep with 20,000 women, and score 100 points in a single game, a record he still holds to this day. By the way, none of those things were ever recorded on camera, so there's a bit of debate on whether any of it happened.
Oh, and not even the 100 points.
The next 20 years were a dark era for the NBA. In fact, it was almost the death of it. In 1967, a rival league was formed called the ABA, creating teams like the Spurs, Nuggets, Nets, and Pacers. 2 different leagues with over 200 players, completely splitting the basketball
I guess
fan
it's
base.
just
Not only that,
money, but it's always
70%
weird
of
when you
NBA
see
players
things
were
like this.
addicted to drugs, which was a big no-no. And by 1978,
like the only thing I can think of now where anything like that has happened is something tried happening in soccer, like the Super League, whatever it is, got shut down very quickly because they realised it ain't gonna work. Like no one wanted that. Golf did it, didn't they? They did. There was the Pro Tour, PGA, and then was it LV? But within a year or two, they merged. I don't know if they fully merged, but actually no, they can play on each other's tournaments because it's ruining the game. I get it's all money, but
down so
I
bad.
just don't
Even
get it.
Most
why.
of the finals weren't aired on TV. Nobody cared about the NBA. But right before officially going bankrupt, the league was saved by 2 unlikely stars. This is Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. And in 1978, they were the 2 greatest
I've got a video
players
coming out
in college
soon, but it might
basketball
already be out
history.
actually.
That just so
Of,
happened to be playing
my
at the
first
exact
reaction to
same
Magic.
time, leading to one of the
I've yet
greatest
to record
rivalries
it.
ever. They talked smack, got physical, all while dropping 20 points on each
bloody
other.
hell.
It
It
became
is
the
on my
hottest
list.
thing on TV. I'm talking 40 million viewers for a single college game. Between 1978 and 1979, Bird and Magic officially declared for the league, with Bird going to the Boston Celtics and Magic to the Lakers. Meanwhile, the NBA absorbed the 4 remaining ABA teams, making the NBA the only professional basketball league. And oh yeah, in 1979, they finally added the iconic 3-point line. The NBA was suddenly bigger
They
than
didn't have that before then.
The league
Wow.
even started selling players' jerseys for the first time. And it was all led by Bird and Magic. But despite all that, the NBA had no clue what was about to hit them, because there was a kid from North Carolina about to change not only basketball, but the world forever.
To Jordan.
In 1982, a 19-year-old college player was averaging 13 points and 4 rebounds. Nothing special, but it was enough to help bring his team, the North Carolina Tar Heels, to the NCAA championship. And it was during that game that he made a name for himself, because in the final seconds, with his team down 1, he did this.
18. Shot. Jordan. It's over. North Carolina has won the 1982 NCAA championship.
Michael Jordan was ready to take over the
A
basketball
lot earlier than I
world.
thought it was.
And
I
in
thought it was early
1984, When
90s.
Jordan was drafted by the Chicago Bulls, he instantly became a star, winning Rookie of the Year and looking like he'd be the
Shows
face
how
of the
bad my
game for
knowledge
years
is.
to come. But at the start of his sophomore season, Jordan shattered his foot.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, there was another player coming out of college, ready to take MJ's spot.
Would that be Pippen? I'm just thinking
This
of old
is
players.
Len Bias.
Nope, I was
And the
wrong.
kid was so good, scouts were saying he'd for sure be better than MJ. He was bigger, stronger, and a better rebounder. And in 1986, he was drafted by the Boston Celtics, a team that still had legends like Larry Bird, Bill Walton, and Danny Ainge. But just 2 days later, the NBA was hit with one of their worst tragedies.
Local success story took a tragic turn this morning. Len Bias, the Maryland University basketball star on his way to becoming a world champion Boston Celtic, died of an apparent heart attack today at Leland Memorial
shit.
Hospital in Prince George's County.
He died of heart failure because he used cocaine.
The medical examiner said the cocaine in Bias's body was virtually pure, while most found in Maryland is 60% diluted.
That's
He
sad,
said
man.
Bias inhaled the powder. Within seconds, it was absorbed into the blood and quickly interrupted the electrical activity in his brain, and that produced an irregular heartbeat.
Len Bias tragically passed away, and with that, brought an end to the Celtics dynasty. But there was another dynasty right around the corner. Now, a few months later, Michael Jordan returned from injury and literally became the most famous person in the world. He won 3 championships in a row with the Bulls, released the most iconic shoes of all time, the Jordan 1s, and he was
See, this
so
is all
famous,
before I was
you could
born.
recognize an outline of him. Everyone
crazy.
wanted to be like Mike, and it brought worldwide attention. By 1992, the NBA started playing games in countries like China, Germany, and Russia. And for the first time ever, you had legends like Bird, Magic, and Jordan all playing for the USA Olympic team, forming the Dream Team, aka the greatest
I've got a
sports
video
team
as well
ever
out on
assembled.
this,
At
coming
this
out
point,
soon.
basketball
Yet to
and the
record,
NBA was
so
at
it's
its
coming.
peak. It was so big, the league even added 2 teams to Canada, but it was all short-lived.
Last
Grizzlies
night,
are in Canada,
began
they're
the
in
show with
Memphis.
the disappearance of Michael Jordan's father. Tonight, the worst fears have come true. James Jordan was found dead, victim of an apparent murder.
Jordan was devastated, and being unable to cope with the pain, he officially retired from the NBA in 1993. This left a massive hole in the league, and the Houston Rockets tried to fill it, even winning back-to-back championships. But it just wasn't MJ. So only 2 years after retiring, MJ shocked the world with 2 of the most iconic words in NBA history: "I'm back." But when Jordan returned, he would meet the Black Mamba for the first time.
Kobe.
And that's only one of the 8 sections coming up, after a word from our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan. See, when you're as good at basketball as I am,
I rate this
guarding
channel a lot.
I couldn't
but,
afford the cost of fixing my broken ankle, but that'll fight your case. So, to get started, I'm back. He made his return to the NBA, where he and the Bulls went on to dominate the league again, winning 3 more championships in a row, including one on Father's Day, where MJ dedicated the win to his dad. It was truly beautiful. But as Jordan's career came to an end, a new era of players were ready to take over.
Didn't he go to
Players
the
like
Wizards
Kobe
after the
Bryant,
Bulls,
Shaquille
right?
O'Neal, and Allen Iverson. They all brought something the league had never
Got a
seen.
video of
before.
Shaq coming
AI
out soon.
redefined how you could dribble
Haven't
and move with the
recorded it
ball.
yet, but
Kobe
it's
brought his
coming.
Mamba mentality, while no one could contain Shaq's size. But the changes went beyond just the court. By the early 2000s, you saw more players with tattoos. They were wearing chains and jewelry. The league had gotten a complete makeover. By the year
LeBron.
2003, Shaq and Kobe were dominating the league. They teamed up on the Lakers, and it won 3 championships
Didn't
in
they
a
hate
row.
each other?
It was a thing of beauty. That was, until their relationship fell apart. Kobe thought Shaq was being a lazy fat ass, and Shaq thought Kobe was mean. So the two ended up hating each other. But all eyes were on a much bigger story. See, there was a player in high school that was more famous than any NBA player. A player that was part Magic Johnson, part MJ, and part superhuman. I'm talking about LeBron James, the most exciting prospect basketball had ever seen. I mean, if the league accepted high schoolers, he would have been playing in the NBA at 16. He was that good. And in the 2003 draft, he was selected by his hometown
So I guess
team,
he has to do
Cleveland
1 year in
Cavaliers,
college.
ready to claim his crown as the king of the NBA. But while everyone had their eyes on LeBron, something sinister was going on in the background. a referee by the name of Tim Donaghy was rigging games for the Mafia, telling them which teams to put money on. And it wasn't just a single game or even one series. He was rigging games for 4 years straight. Tim was literally changing the history of the NBA with each game he reffed. But eventually, the FBI got involved. A 2-year investigation was conducted.
The media on NBA is crazy.
Went to jail for 11 months. But the 2000s weren't all bad. In 2007, the league saw the beginning of the super team era in the Boston Celtics, made up of 3 NBA legends, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce. And I know there were other super teams over the years, the 82 Sixers, the 96 Bulls, even the 2003 Lakers. But for the first time in NBA history, teams were intentionally trading for 3 superstars to try and win it all. And in 2010, the Miami Heat pulled off the greatest super team the NBA had ever seen. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. I mean, they were so good. They made it all the way to the finals in their first year. By 2011, the league had hit one of its lowest points, going into a complete lockout. Basically, team owners wanted to pay their players less. Players said hell no, and the NBA shut down. So, with nothing to do all day, stars like LeBron and KD went and dominated in local gyms. Some players like J.R. Smith went overseas to play, while others were forced to literally find a normal job. No one knew if this was the end of the NBA. But finally, after 161 days, everyone came to a new agreement, and this marked the beginning of the absolutely ridiculous NBA contracts we see today. I mean, dudes like Timothy Mozgov, who averaged 6 points a game, signed a $65 million contract, while stars like Kevin Durant were signing contracts for over $160 million. To put that into perspective, the most
they're the ones bringing in the money,
was $100 grand per year. That is only $975,000 in today's money. With the NBA finally back, LeBron lived it up in Miami, going to 4 straight finals, winning 2 of them. Basketball was witnessing a new GOAT emerge, and the NBA was in the midst of its LeBron era. By 2014, LeBron returned to Cleveland, ready to win his hometown a ring, thinking it was going to be an endless flow of championships. But, there was a team in the Bay Area with a player named Steph Curry who was about to change the NBA forever.
My GOAT.
Steph Curry could shoot the ball from anywhere, and I mean anywhere. The league had never seen anything like it. 3-point shots used to just be, a normal part of the game, but now we saw Steph Curry making it the #1 option, from hitting more threes than any player in NBA history to taking home the MVP award that year and winning the 2015 NBA Finals. He broke boundaries and changed the way the league viewed shooting. So other teams started shooting threes like crazy, trying to find their own Steph Curry, but there was a problem. The dude was one of a kind. So from 2015 to 2018, it was the king of the league versus the greatest shooter of all time. And it made for some of the most memorable playoff series ever, like in 2016, when LeBron and the Cavs were down 3-1 to the Warriors in the finals. But somehow they came back and won it all, making it LeBron's greatest accomplishment. Meanwhile, international players started invading the league, like Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic, who account for the last 5 MVPs from 2019 to 2023. Suddenly, the league's best players weren't even American. It was like nothing the league had ever seen before. But when nobody saw
I'm a 76ers fan, but I don't know anything other than Joel Embiid, other than he just injured all the time.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
Now to growing concerns about the deadly coronavirus officially hitting the U.S.
If I show up to an arena and ain't no fans in there, I ain't playing.
The NBA is suspending the season.
See, the NBA was forced to completely shut down for 4 months. Luckily though, the league was trying to cook up a plan to bring basketball back. And what they came up with
you forget this happened, don't you? You forget this happened.
The NBA invited teams to Disney World, where they would come and play out the rest of the season while being stuck inside a bubble for 3 months. They couldn't leave, they couldn't bring anyone in, they couldn't even order food from outside restaurants. It was rough. But LeBron got his 4th ring out of it, and nobody got sick. By 2021, COVID was still around, but the fans were back, and we got to see one of the weirdest seasons ever. The Nets lost in the playoffs because KD's foot was too big. LeBron got eliminated in the first round for the first time in his career, and the Bucks won their first championship since 1971. In the 2022-23 season, we got to see a legendary Celtics vs. Warriors finals, where Steph took home his 4th ring. But I think it's more important to talk about where we are today. See, I feel like there's a problem that no one seems to be mentioning. The NBA's most popular players are getting really old, and I think we're about to witness the end of an era. I mean, the typical retirement age for an NBA player is 35. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler, James Harden, D. Rose, and Westbrook are all 34. Steph and KD are 35, CP3 is 38, and the king of the NBA, LeBron James, is 38 years old too, which makes him the oldest player in the entire NBA. I mean, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? These dudes are about to retire, and the league is about to look a whole lot different very soon. Because with 30 teams at the moment, the league has plans to expand to 32 teams. And with how much the league's changed already, who knows what we could see in 20 more years. Like, there's already talks about a 4-point line, airless basketballs, and Toyota's developing a robot that might even play in the league. This really is the end of an era. And
a 4-point line would be awful. Again, rebound, they make, I gotta say, rebound and non-stop have made the best NBA and NFL videos I've seen, and I love reacting to their stuff. Like, they make incredible things. You know, that's an important point at the end as well. Of, like I said, I'm new to this kind of genre of sport, American sports especially, but like with basketball, it really is who are the young players coming through now, where they will be the Steph, the LeBrons, Jimmy Butlers, Chris Pauls of now. Who are they? Let me know that down in the comments. Of course, way down there. Hit the like button, hit subscribe button, and boost.